Texas GOP Chair, Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, thank you so much for your time this morning. First, your reaction that the President and First Lady have been diagnosed with COVID-19. They've tested positive.
Well, I will tell you that when I was in the hospital in Waco after my motorcycle accident, the president tweeted out a get well note for me. And so the exact same thing for the president and first lady, please get well, recover soon. And they're in our thoughts and prayers that they will have a swift recovery from COVID-19.
I did get an email from the campaign this morning just to his supporters. Can you confirm that the president was going to campaign in both Houston and Dallas next week on October 7th before, obviously, the diagnosis?
Yes, I can confirm that. I was keeping it under the lid, but obviously he's going to have to cancel that. But he was going to be coming back to Texas, and I was looking forward to seeing him up in Dallas next week.
And my understanding is that you had requested the president come back to Texas before Election Day. Is that true? And if so, why?
Well, that is true. And one of the reasons why I wanted the president to come back specifically up to Dallas, Texas, and down into Houston, Harris County, because Harris County is the largest county in the state of Texas, also third or fourth largest city in the United States of America. And then in North Texas, when you look between Dallas County, Collin County, Denton, and Tarrant County, that's where the Democrat Party is really trying to focus to flip the Texas State House. And just in the last couple of days, we saw an effort coming from the Hollywood elites of California asking for $38 to get the 38 electoral votes of Texas. So even Hollywood is focused on trying to flip Texas. And I think it would really help to bolster the confidence of the people here in Texas to see President Trump show up one last time before November the 3rd.
Do you expect him to make the trip when he recovers?
Well, we'll see. Hopefully so. And as you know, when I was in Congress, I represented 3 of the president's properties down in South Florida, to include Mar-a-Lago. So I know him personally. We've done several events together there at Mar-a-Lago and also up in Trump Tower. So I appreciate him considering the request that I asked for him to come back to Texas, and we look forward to welcoming him here once he's recovered.
And let me ask you, I mean, how concerned are you that the president needed to come back to Texas as far as, how he's going to do here, whether he would win?
I think that everyone understands that so goes Texas, so goes America, and the president wants to make sure that Texans understand how critical and important he sees Texas as well. So it's not a matter of desperation, it's a matter of encouragement and confidence building. It's no different from a commander on the battlefield, circulating the battlefield, and whatever unit that he sees to be so critical and important he wants to visit with. If you think about it, it was just the same as General Eisenhower going around and visiting with those paratroopers the night before they had to load up and go jump into Normandy. So I kind of see that's what President Trump is doing, coming down here to visit his Texas paratroopers before we go off on this decisive operation.
Really appreciate your time. Just 2 other questions, if I may. What impact do you think this will have on his campaign? He was supposed to be in Florida this evening in the Orlando area. He's been doing a lot of traveling to the key battleground states. Now the fact that he has been diagnosed, he's had to defend his record with his response to the coronavirus. So what impact do you think that will have on the campaign?
I don't think it'll have any impact on the campaign, because I think this still is an election that is based upon his policies and his record of accomplishment in his very first term. I think there's a clear separation and choice. Texans and people across America, they want the rule of law. They want law and order. They don't want the rule of the mob and the chaos and the violence that we see out in the streets. They want a strong economy. They want America to stay energy independent. They want a good, strong foreign policy that is not about leading from behind or strategic patience. And they want to see our national security, our military's capability and capacity at a level to be able to meet and thwart any of the threats that we see out there. So that's what President Trump has stood for. And whether or not he's there in person or not, the American people and the people of Texas understand his policies.
I did want to ask you about your tweet this morning You said at the end of it, get better, y'all. We have a country to save from the progressive socialist left. Can you expand on that?
That's very simple. You know, when you look at the policies of the Democrat Party, it is the policies of socialism. I mean, many of them say that they are socialists and Marxists. I mean, they support an organization like Black Lives Matter. So when you want to talk about classical political ideology and theology, uh, anyone talking about wealth redistribution, nationalizing economic production, expanding the welfare nanny state. Look at what they just came out with in California, that they voted that they're going to be giving out reparations. You know, I'm a very successful young Black man, and I was born in a Blacks only hospital. I don't need the Democrat Party to write me a check because I've never been a slave, but yet they want to economically enslave people. So that is what I'm talking about, making sure that America, which is the beacon of liberty and freedom and democracy for the world, stays that way. And the Lone Star State, I got to tell you, it shines and illuminates the other 49. And that's why Texas is so important.
Texas GOP Chair Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, thank you so much for your time this morning. I know you have a busy day ahead. Thank you so much.